Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be interviewing a guy who, when he was a kid and I was a kid, he was a huge staple of my childhood just by one movie. And it's a Canadian classic that used to play before and after school when I was a kid on HBO. It's called The Peanut Butter Solution, and his name is Matthew Mackay. And I'm having him on the show today to talk about this forgotten classic and find out about the making of it, of whatever he can remember, because it was a long time ago. And he was also in a couple episodes of Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark? And he was in the Cliff Robertson TV movie where he played the General Motors guy, Ford. And it's going to be a pretty cool episode, I think. I'm so lucky when I dig in and I find these lost gems of people to talk about lost gems of movies. And I'm so friggin' excited. So yeah, here is my interview with Matthew Mackay. Hi, Matthew.
Yes, Tommy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. I have about 20 minutes. I hope that'll be enough.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So
Great.
going back to the beginning, obviously you were a child actor and your mom made documentaries. Was the movie business something that was on your radar early on?
I couldn't say so. No, not really. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't really know much about much, and didn't really know much about the movie business even, or anything like that. Even though my parents were in it, I wasn't so aware, of their jobs, I guess. So no, I was just a kid.
But you obviously watched the movies and thought they were great, did you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like any kid, I liked movies. I liked watching TV and going to the movies, and saw Star Wars and thought that was pretty awesome. But I never had an idea of being an actor, particularly.
Mm-hmm. Did you do plays in school?
I did do plays in high school, but that was later. That was after I'd already acted professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that.
Did you start when you finally did start acting? Did you start off doing commercials first, like a lot of child actors do?
No, not really. I think it was a long time ago, but if I recall correctly, I did this one kind of very short industrial commercial for, a train museum where I played this little kid who kind of falls asleep reading a book about trains, and then he has this dream that he's actually the conductor of a train, and so he's up there, and I remember I had some striped overalls, and I was throwing wood into the fire to get the train going and everything, and then at the end you see that he's just fallen asleep reading his book. So that was a lot of fun, and that was done through the film board, I think through some connection of my dad, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unrelated to that, then I got my first big part, which was the Peanut Butter Solution, which I think you saw, right?
Of course, a million times.
The great cult classic, the Peanut Butter Solution. So yeah, I was 10 or 11 years old, and actually the director was looking for a kid who was not a professional actor. He just went around in the English schools and picked out a handful of kids out of the different classes and got them to audition. I was attending a French grade school myself, but my mother knew that the director, Michael Rubo, was going around and picking out these kids who had never acted before, and so she suggested me. And so I got in for an audition, and then, it was just a process of auditions and callbacks, and, I guess that the rest is kind of history. I got the part, and I guess that was what they were looking for,
Yeah. The movie was such a huge staple of my childhood that in the late 80s, HBO played it before and after school, and then by like the early 90s, it stopped. So then I started like renting it at my local video store, and I just always loved the movie. It's just so quirky and so different than anything that you got in America at the time.
Yeah. Are you American?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of a special little film. What's interesting about that film is, I was jokingly saying it was a cult classic, but here in Quebec, where it was shot, it actually, a ton of kids saw that movie, and it was slated as a children's film. But then, I'll bump into people 25, 30 years later, and somehow it comes out that I was in that movie for whatever reason, and people they remember. They're like, oh my God, that movie, and often they'll say, that movie really kind of traumatized them or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit creepy. It's a bit creepy, all these kids getting kidnapped and this evil professor who is pretty intense and the nightmares and all of that, So
Yeah.
It seemed to have scarred a fair number of children and left, lasting impression on their psyche. So I guess that's something to either be proud or ashamed of. I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood why a lot of people when they were kids, they were scared of that movie, because I was never scared of it. I mean, I knew it could never happen in real life, but I don't get what that appeal is of being scared of it. I guess, the whole fact of them going bald probably is what scared them. I mean, what did you and your parents think when you found out that you had to be bald?
I think I was pretty happy-go-lucky myself, and I don't think it. I think the fact that I had to shave my head was kind of pale in comparison to the fact that I was going to have a part in a movie and miss a month of school. That was pretty awesome. And the whole thing just seemed like a lot of fun to me. So, and I didn't really care, I mean, I probably was a little bit shocked, as anybody would be when I first found out, but I don't remember it as being an issue or a problem at all. Although it did, obviously, it did turn a few heads, and everybody had a reaction. But I guess that's the point, right?
Yeah. So you really did shave your head.
I really did. I shaved my head, and not only did I shave my head, but I had to shave my head every day during the shoot of that movie because it was just a lot simpler for continuity. They had me shave my head every day, and then the hair that's supposed to be my real hair was actually a wig. So basically, the whole time I was wearing wigs during the shoot of that movie, or I was bald. So it was either that way we could shoot scenes where I was already bald, or we could shoot scenes where I had my hair, or I was wearing a long-haired wig, or whatever. It made it much easier than having to organize the whole shoot around when I had my own hair and when I had a wig or when I was bald. You understand?
Yeah.
And there's actually only one time in the movie where it was my own real hair, and that was the point after I put the peanut butter goop on my head, and then my hair starts to grow back. They actually shot that sequence in kind of reverse photography, so they had my hair like a few inches long, and that was sort of the end of the scene, and then they would cut it a little bit, and then they'd shoot another little segment, and that's earlier in the scene. Then they'd cut a bit more on my hair until there was just a tiny bit of hair, and then shoot that, and that was the beginning of the scene, and then they edit it in the opposite direction to make it look like my hair was getting longer and longer. You see?
Nice. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you again?
10 or 11. I think 1983 or 84. So, yeah, I must have been, I think, 11 years old probably when it was shot.
Yeah, it came out in the U.S. in 85, so it must have been shot in 83, 84, I figured.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The Asian kid who plays your friend Conrad, he went to he ended up doing Degrassi Junior High after this.
Yes.
Do you still talk to him?
Do not talk to him. Haven't been in touch with him in probably about 20 years. I think probably stayed in touch with him, when I was a teenager a fair bit, and then probably lost touch, and then probably talked to him, a decade or so after the movie, and just, hey, how's it going, kind of thing. Just people drift apart, and, he lived in Toronto, I was in Montreal, so, that's just life.
Yeah.
Go their own way. But, I don't know where he is now or if he's still acting or anything, but I was very happy that, he landed that part on Degrassi, and that was good, and hope he's happy wherever he is, whatever he's doing. He's a great guy.
Mm-hmm. Do you talk to anybody from the movie?
No, I don't think I do. I mean, say Allison, who played my sister, she's still a friend. I would still say that she is still a friend, even though I don't talk to her very often. I could.
Yeah.
I got in touch with her. We would, we'd be still friends. We remained friends over the years, and I would still consider her a friend, and, we'd have no trouble just connecting at any time, but it's not like we're in touch, currently, but we could be.
Mm-hmm. What was the director Michael Rubo like?
He's a very creative man, and I liked him a lot. He was very kind of a free spirit and kind of an original thinker, and just he had a good mind. He kind of what a brilliant script that was, and what a great story and a great imagination. And he had a great vision for that. And I think he was Australian, if I'm not mistaken, or British. I think Australian, perhaps. But anyway, just a great guy. And again, haven't spoken to Michael in decades, and don't know where he is or what he's doing or anything. But I was very fond of him, and he did a great job and wrote a great script, and liked him very much.
Mm-hmm. The guy who plays the Signor, he's really scary in the movie. Was he just as scary off camera?
I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it. I can't say, I completely remember. I mean, he had a good sense of humor. And you could see, at the end of the movie, he has quite a warm side, doesn't he? When, when Conrad warms up to him and tricks him, then you see, he really softens up and becomes really nice with all the kids, even though he's still, of course, holding them in captivity, but you see his warm side. So I bet he's more like that in real life than the scary professor.
Yeah. I love when Michael's hair gets so long that his dad says that the school doesn't want him there. And you know what? That's what I wanted to hear when I was growing up. They don't want you there.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, maybe what a lot of kids want, but good thing they don't get what they want, too.
Yeah. There's a scene where Michael plays the drums. Do you play drums?
I do not. That was fancy cinematography. Fancy, just movie magic, I guess you could say. I was just banging away like a total amateur, and then they would sort of combine me hitting a couple, you'd see me hitting a couple, and that would be the real sound, and then they'd cut to something else, and then they were inventing some, they were putting in some track of a really good drummer.
Yeah.
So don't believe everything you see in the movies.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a social commentary or a cautionary message in the movie?
Social commentary, cautionary message.
I've been trying to figure that out for a long time.
I think I'd have to think about that. I've never really thought about it. What do you think it might be? You've thought about it a little bit. What comes to your mind?
It's definitely, I don't know if it's a social commentary, but it's definitely a cautionary tale about not getting into things that you shouldn't get into, type of thing, because they went to that haunted house, and then that's what happened to him, to his hair and everything.
Yeah, but if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have, had all those experiences, and he wouldn't have learned all those incredible life lessons, and come out so much wiser at the end.
Yeah.
And there was something definitely calling him to go see that house. He had to go. He wanted to go. There was nothing going to turn him away. And that's a little bit, that's sort of like, our life. We're drawn to things, and you could say that we're drawn to things that are maybe not so good for us, but sometimes we have to go through the experiences we need to go through in order to become who we're meant to become, and learn what we need to learn. So,
that's true.
I don't know. I hope it doesn't scare people from, following their hearts.
Yeah. I love how his mother comes back at the end, too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did the movie do well in Canada?
I don't know. I think it probably did fine. I think it did very well in Quebec, from what I gathered. But the rest of Canada, I'm not sure. I mean, the movie was part of the series of children's films, and most of the films of those, I think there were 12 in all, were shot in French, and I think there were maybe only a couple, 2 or 3, that were in English. So the movie was dubbed into French, and I think it did very well in French, and I think it did fine in English around here. But as far as how it did nationally or internationally, I wouldn't know. But I do know that the film, still has some notoriety, and it's made it onto some lists of, this and that. It obviously caught the attention of some people, and some people like yourself, really valued it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun and different and original kind of movie, and I think it's a good one.
Certainly is. A couple of years after the movie, you played a 12-year-old version of Henry Ford in a TV biopic.
You've done your homework, Tommy.
Yeah, I was curious. Did you get? I was curious. Did you get to meet Cliff Robertson?
I did.
Nice man.
I did. Nice man. Good man.
Yeah, he was.
I could tell. Everybody's nice. Who's not nice? Some people maybe rough around the edges, or have a thick shell or a thick skin or something. But most people in the right circumstances are pretty sweet.
Yeah, he was a great actor. I was a huge fan of
He
him.
was a great actor. Yeah, yeah. I was kind of too young. I was only 12 years old, so I didn't know anything of Cliff Robertson. I just heard, oh, this is Cliff Robertson, and this is a big honor for you to be working with Cliff Robertson. But it's not like I knew who Cliff Robertson was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than what other people told me about him at the time. So when I met him, it was just like, oh, very nice to meet you.
Yeah, because there was no internet back then.
Great.
All right, do you have any memories of working on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Sure, a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that show. Was that a good experience doing that show?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. A lot of fun.
Yeah, Nickelodeon needs to bring that back. That was a pretty cool show.
Yeah, it was very, very popular. Very popular. Actually, I did a couple of those. I did one where I had the guest starring role playing this guy, Dean Burkham, who is like the school nerd who gets involved in some black magic and then becomes very cool and powerful, but, out to lunch, basically. And then there was another show where I got to play kind of like this ghost, James Dean-like character, but who's a ghost who drives this like 50s Chevy or something like that. So, and that wasn't a big part. I just got to drive this really cool car, and it looked cool for like 2 minutes. So,
awesome.
Yeah, they were fun. It was fun.
So you've continued acting into adulthood. Are you currently doing any acting jobs?
I can't say, it's not really my career now at all. I still, I still have a connection to acting. I still have an agent where I live now. I live near Ottawa in Canada, but on the Quebec side in a town called Gatineau, which is a French-Canadian city. So it's been, I have my family now. I have 3 kids. My daughter's 8 years old, and
nice.
We moved here to the Ottawa region like 6 years ago, and before that I was living near Montreal where I had my acting connections, and over the years would do I did a lot of voice work over cartoons when I was a kid, and then I continued doing some voice work. I had different parts and different things in my 20s, but then I sort of shifted my focus of my life, and I got more into healing, into spirituality, and I studied massage therapy in Colorado. I became a massage therapist. I opened a massage therapy and yoga studio in Montreal with a buddy of mine when I was about 30, and then got married, had a family, and my life kind of shifted out of acting, and then acting was really sort of just, I'd say, like, on the side, a hobby. I get, the occasional part here and there, but certainly wasn't the main, my main job. And that's fine, and now I don't really, it's not something that I am actively pursuing. I don't really think about it. When my agent calls me and says, oh, I have something for you, then I'm like, okay, fine, great, and it's just sort of a bonus, but it's, I don't really have strong aspirations in that regard, but I'm not close to it either. I'm just sort of enjoying my life as it is, doing something I love, and helping people, with meditation and massage, which are, true passions of mine.
Yeah, one of my best friends is a massage therapist, and yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of Canadian actors who still live in Canada, and they tell me just how tough it is over there trying to get roles, and how ACTRA doesn't pay correctly and all that stuff. So I can understand how tough it can be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not tough for everybody. It's tough for some people, and it's easy for other people. It really just depends. I mean, I guess it's basically understood that the acting profession is, there's a zillion actors, but then the number of actors who actually make it and make a good career and a lasting career pretty rare. And, of course, the ones who do make it, are very visible, and, society really holds them in high esteem and regard. And we love actors for, the characters they bring to life and all of the emotions and everything we can live and learn through them. And so it's kind of a beautiful thing, but it's also a job that has a lot of pitfalls. And, a lot of people get wasted, by that kind of lifestyle, whether it be through, the disappointment of not making it and, just the machine kind of chewing them up and spitting them out of the industry, of it just being so hard, or people who actually make it, but then, have a hard time handling the fame and the wealth that goes with the stardom. So it's kind of like, it's not as great as it may seem from the outside,
Right.
So I think if you're going to be if you want to be an actor, then, acting itself is beautiful. I think it's an amazing craft, and I really, I love it. I really do. In so many of its aspects, I think it's just an amazing creative process and really an amazing way to, just lose yourself in another character and invent and, process and show so many feelings and so many life experiences and tell a story and move people. And that's all amazing, but I think it's also, you need to be extremely grounded, extremely mature, extremely level-headed, and I think it's important that one's own self-esteem and self-worth and basic happiness is not dependent on, the next part or, public opinion. Because if it is, then it can be pretty devastating life.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. That's very well said, Matthew. So you don't have anything that you want to plug?
What do I want to plug? I want to plug, people, taking care of themselves and loving themselves and loving each other and being kind and, not forgetting the most important basic human values and taking care of each other and taking care of the world. And, I think that's the most important thing. And then from there, then everybody just have fun, enjoy their life, appreciate all the blessings that we have in this, pretty challenging world with so many difficult circumstances. So, just that's what I would just like to plug is people being kind to each other.
Oh, that's beautiful, Matthew. Thank you so much for coming on today, and I really appreciate it. You're very smart, insightful, and very nice guy. I appreciate it.
Well, Tommy, thanks for reaching out. I'm sorry it took a little while for me to get back to you, and thanks for interviewing me. And I hope this is good material for your podcast. I wish you best success and lots of happiness too.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for that, and you have yourself a great day.
Okay, thanks so much. Take good care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Matthew Mackay. Ain't he a cool dude? Thank you so much, Matthew. I meant everything I said. You were a really cool, insightful interview, very intelligent, and I'm glad you're happy with your life. And the peanut butter solution will always be a classic. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.